Hey guys, Thinking here, bringing you a Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so today we are going to jump in and do the Videl burst mode that came out with all of the other Roshi and Videl related content for this little sort of filler between filler, I guess, to catch global up to stuff that is not yet out from JP. So yeah, we're going to jump in, and as always with the burst mode runs, I'm going to do a run for each of the separate categories. So we have one for Peppy Gals, one for Terrifying Conquerors. Obviously you can see from the title and the thumbnail that we're going to do the Peppy Gals one first. And yeah, we're going to go with these modifiers to get the 6,000 points. I do usually go over this in all of the burst mode videos, and I will do again in the Terrifying Conquerors one, I'm sure. But I always like to do these videos to get 6,000 points with both the categories, because then it just to show that you can do it with either, right? Like if you do have a solid Terrifying Conquerors box, but you don't have a good Peppy Gals box, you can still get 6,000 points with a Terrifying Conquerors team. And then the thing is, if you go back, we can go back to here quickly to look at the missions. You only have to get the 6,000 points once, right? There are missions to complete the burst mode with the two specific categories. Obviously here we've got one with Peppy Gals and one with Terrifying Conquerors, and then all the rest are for getting the points all the way up to 6,000 points. So let's say that Peppy Gals is your strongest team option, like we're doing this one first. You get your 6,000 point score with Peppy Gals. It completes all the missions except for the Terrifying Conquerors one. So then all you have to do is jump back into the event quickly. You can turn all of the modifiers off if you want, so you're literally getting no points. Or you could just put the Terrifying Conquerors one on and get 1,000 points. I suppose it doesn't matter, right? Because it's your high score is the amount of points you get at the end anyway. And then the event will just be as easy as a normal Dokkan event, because you haven't put any of the modifiers on. You can just blow through it in a couple of turns, and then that completes the last mission. But like I say, we're going to do 6,000 for both. So we're going to use Tech and STR characters. We've got the 400 or less team cost. I did go for the 300 one to start with, but with the team build that I wanted to bring, it was just a little bit over. But it's easy enough to balance that out. Having the enemy being immune to all the status effects is a good one, because we're kind of used to that from difficult content anyway. And then we have the damage reduction against AGL types, because we're not using AGL types anyway. And then giving them the damage reduction. Starting from phase 3, the attack and defense increases with each turn. And then none of the optional attack ups and none of the other attack ups here at all. Like, these are worth a lot of points. Like, raising enemies attack by 50%. 50% isn't a huge amount, and 620 points is quite a lot. But I always find one of the easiest ways to do these burst modes is to just give the enemy a decent amount of extra defense and some extra HP. Don't really give them any attack, and then their chances of being able to kill you are incredibly low. And then you can get through nice and quickly. I mean, it might take a little bit longer if you've got a weaker team in terms of damage output. Obviously, one thing you could do is you can put on that 50% attack, and then that allows you to drop down one of these by a significant amount, right? So like the enemy HP, we could take, I guess we can't take it off completely, but we could put that down a little bit, and then we could put the defense down, well, pretty much almost entirely. In fact, we could just take it off. And so then the enemy has damage reduction, a little bit of extra defense, and that's it. Like, I think we talked about this in one of the most recent burst mode ones as well. I feel like they've made this a lot easier to hit the minimum, like 6,000, because I can take off the all allies key -3. I can take off the orbs hurt you. So yeah, the enemy has 1,000% extra HP. Then they don't have any extra defense. 50% extra attack, which, let's be fair, like, a Dokkan event isn't exactly the hardest hitting event in the world. And then they have some damage reduction. So this should be pretty straightforward. This is the team I made with the Videl lead. We've got LR Bulma, STR Mai as a superclass support. The Tech Videl from the Broly banner. We've got Kefla and then Caulifla. Obviously, there isn't a Universe 6 like full team build, but she does get the dodge chance by having Peppy Gals allies on the team. She's also got a very, very low cost, her actual card cost, right? Only 15, so very easy to use for this. And then we have a easy A friend Videl. So let's go ahead and jump in here. I can't expect this one is going to be particularly difficult or take particularly long. I'd like the fact that they have made the requirements for the burst mode like seemingly easy. I don't know if they have just upped the points, or if I'm just misremembering from like previous burst modes, but it seems like you don't have to add anywhere near as many modifiers to get to the 6,000 like minimum. And I like that, because then like we've done it a couple of times with the last few burst modes where there's been a bit of friendly competition in the Discord for who can set the highest score. And you can see with like the ones that I was messing around with there at the beginning, like I could have quite easily set up a score that was like over 7,000, which still probably wouldn't have been that difficult, right? It wasn't like a ton of modifiers. We took off that defensive one completely. Even the minimum one gave an extra like 610 points. So I feel like this will be very, very easy to set a really, really high score on. So do let me know down below in the comment section what your high score for the Videl burst mode is, if you have done it already. Do go ahead and join the Discord and let us know your scores over in there. Obviously, whether you want to take part in the burst mode stuff or not, join the Discord anyway, right? Join the community. Got a bunch of pages in there for showing off your summons, team building guide, help, all that kind of stuff. So do go ahead and join the community over on the Discord side. But yeah, we will. You'll see updates in there from me over the course of the next day or so as we go back and forth. There's a couple of guys we do like to have that friendly competition, right, and set the see who can set the highest score. And I do like the fact that it's a little bit easier to do that now, because sometimes in some of the early burst modes, if you wanted to try and get higher than 6,000, even getting up to like 7,000 or a little bit over meant you were putting on enough modifiers that the event could become quite difficult. Whereas I feel like this time around, or at least with the last couple, it's a lot easier to throw on a bunch of modifiers to get a really high score. I mean, obviously the rewards overall aren't exactly crazy, right, with the OSTs. It depends how much you care about those. Getting the skill orbs though is obviously pretty good for the silver burst mode coins. But yeah, burst mode is just one of those fun. I like burst mode as a concept, right? Just because Dokkan events are super easy, but it's just the idea of you can put on a ton of modifiers, make it harder to get the higher scores. One of the things I would really like them to do going forwards, which it would be kind of cool. I mean, it would make burst mode not the thing it is anymore, right? It wouldn't be like a special event that comes around every now and then, but something that would be awesome, because it's something that the community has been asking for a very long time, is imagine if like when a new Dokkan event comes out, it has the option for the like burst mode settings, and the harder you make the event, instead of a higher score, the harder you make the event, the more medals you get when you beat it. Because obviously they've started adding these missions now that we can complete to get a bunch of extra medals, but you still have to do quite a fair few runs. It would be kind of fun to be able to put together, like, imagine you could put enough modifiers on and then make a strong enough team to actually be able to beat that juiced up version of the event, where you just get like all 77 medals in one go. Like, that would be awesome. But like I say, it would take away from this being a thing that then just comes around like every now and then to give those like extra bonus rewards and something else to do. But they could always find some other way to introduce those. But I think that would be super cool, being able to take the Dokkan events and make them a little bit harder in order to get more medals per run. But for now, burst mode definitely is a little bit of fun. Pretty easy now to get the minimum 6,000 points. I say that, of course, it's all very category specific, right? So if you don't have many PEPPY GALS units, it's going to be a lot more difficult, because obviously I have the highest scoring like type selection, right? STR and Tech. If you can't make a good STR and Tech team, you have to pick one of the other typing options, and then of course you will be getting a lower score, and then you have to put up the other options. So obviously it kind of depends. I think we should do this, right? We'll rely on the Kefla dodge as opposed to Khalifa's dodge chance is still decent on this team, but we'll go ahead and do that. And then, yeah, Kefla gets the dodge. Kefla and Khalifa together, obviously sharing a few links. Kefla not getting like Super Saiyan or anything, but able to get a few links from her. And of course, Kefla with her Easy A, very, very hard-hitting unit, can provide the damage here that we need to get through this a little bit quicker. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about burst mode. I think it is a nice little fun addition. And yeah, let me know what your highest score is, and let us know over in the Discord if you want to step up and see who can get the best. We've got some pretty high ones in some of the previous ones. I remember the last one I can't remember which event it was now, the one that was during the worldwide. That was super, super hard. I remember some of the highest scores that were set required enough modifiers like to make the enemy so tanky that it took like almost 2 hours to get through the actual event, which was insane. But I know obviously not everyone's gonna everyone's gonna want to go in for something that that crazy. But yeah, definitely fun to see how high of a score you can set. Because yeah, to get that like really high score, you have to actually select the things where, like, if you, let's say like we're using STR and tech, you have to put on like the enemy gets damage reduction against STR and tech. So then all of your units are doing very little damage, but you've also given the enemy tons of defense and tons of HP. So it takes forever to kill the enemies, which can be useful with, I think the last burst mode one, you could have a lot of stackers on the team. So I think it was like Int Broly, you know, getting up over like 1.5 million defense by the time you get to the end and stuff. It's kind of fun to see those numbers on some of these kind of units as well. Like imagine for this one, if you are using STR Videl, because she has infinite attack stacking, but with the enemy having all of that damage reduction and everything, it's going to take a very long time to get through all of the health bars. By the time you get to the final phase, especially if you then decided to wait all the way to the end, right, because you don't want it to be too much of a liability defensively, wait until all the way to the end to pop Videl's active skill. And then, although I suppose to be fair on this team, you can't use her active skill, can you? Because you can't have a Gohan named character on the PEPPY GALS team. But either way, her attack will stack up to a pretty crazy amount by the time we get to the end. So certainly will be fun to try that out and see how we get on. But apparently, even though I did select all of the status effect options, right? So is she sealed? Yeah. I thought I turned all of those off. How is she sealed? I mean, I'm not complaining, but I thought I'd put on all of the immune to status effect things for the extra points, but maybe that wasn't an option for this one and she just can be sealed all the time, which obviously is good if you're going for these higher score runs. That's something to bear in mind. That's something you can try and do as well. Set a high score by putting on a bunch of the other modifiers, but leave on the ability to like stun or seal, and then make sure your team has characters that can do that, and then that obviously reduces the chances. Because the worst part about trying these really high scores is getting like an hour and a half into a run and then you get killed, which nobody wants. But there you go. So that was the PEPPY GALS run. Very straightforward. We got a little over 6,000 points, and that completes us all of the missions in one go, other than the Terrifying Conquerors one, which we can jump back in and do. And like I said at the beginning, you could just jump back in and get that done with the bare minimum. Yeah, stunning damage reduction, stunning attack and defense reduction. So I guess sealing wasn't one of them, because I'm sure I ticked all of them. But there you go. There's all the rewards except the Terrifying Conquerors run. So 8 stones, some burst mode coins, some meat items. And then we just have the Terrifying Conquerors one left to do. So we'll jump into that in the next one. So let me know how you guys got on. Let me know your high score. Join the Discord and share the screenshots of your high scores. Let us know. But yeah, for Videl Burst Mode with PEPPY GALS. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below. And I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.